everybody, and welcome back to the
Hopson's
Happenings. We're going to practice that with Leon. Okay, so tonight we are doing live on Facebook because, like I said, we're new to all this, and I want to try this method to see if it's better because, y'all, the last one that I did, I recorded it on my laptop. And it literally took me 2 days to figure out how to get it all downloaded and posted. And I was like, it was absolutely driving me crazy. So I had asked some suggestions for some friends and they were like, do it this way, do it. My son-in-law was like, use your phone because he thinks the camera quality on my phone is better. And so that's why we're like squished together. So we're trying to see each other on my phone, and I may have done a live before just a couple of times, so I'm kind of new to even that. But we are here at home tonight, as you can see from the background, same background, and we are under a tornado watch. I'd noticed that some counties were, getting warnings and watches as well, so we are praying for everybody to be safe tonight, but we figured we should go ahead and do it this way. I am still going to upload it to YouTube. But we're not going to dwell on all that tonight. But anyways, we are live. So, and I know sometimes people make comments. I don't know how I'm going to see them to be able to answer them, but I will try to do it in afterwards if I don't see it tonight. So. Anyways, all right. Well, tonight we had told you on the last one that we were going to talk about how we met, when we got together, things of that nature, and to start off, I just want to state that we were not Christians when we first got together. Now, I'm going to say something on here that some people may say is controversial or whatever, but I thought I was a Christian. Let me just put it that way. Leon knew he wasn't, but I thought I was. So, anyways, that's going to be, another topic for another day.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But tonight, we're just going to talk about when we first met each other, how things progressed from there. So, you want to start off the story, or you want me to start it off? It's up to you.
You can start off, because that way I can kind of...
Well, we were kind of reminiscing today, and like I told you on the other video, I remember things a certain way, and Leon remembers things a certain way. So, we were trying to get somewhat of our story, but I also didn't want to, rehearse too much of because I really want this to be real, our real reaction, our real remembrance. So we just have a little outline that we're going by. So we might even discuss things tonight that we didn't talk about today. So anyways, all right. So how we both, like I said, we're both from Meridian, Mississippi, and we both went to school at Northeast Lauderdale, and we were at elementary school together, but I do not remember Leon in elementary school. Now, even though I know we had mutual friends, I didn't know him until high school. And in elementary, he did go, you went to another, was it elementary or middle school?
It was a middle school in Meridian. The name of that school was Magnolia.
So he went there for a short time, but then he transferred back to Northeast. So fast forward, we're in high school. And back then, Northeast High School was, it was 7th grade through 12th grade, all at the same building. Now they have it split up into 3, but back when we were in school, it was none of that. So anyways, we were in I'm going to say it was 10th grade where I knew who Leon was, but we still were not connected as far as friends or whatever. I don't know if he...
That means that you had eyes on me.
What? That is not... I said I knew who he was.
Yeah.
So anyways, we're getting to the 11th grade, and this was the beginning of the time where I was becoming rebellious against my parents in a way. And I was in the band. I played the clarinet during concert season, and I was in the flag corps during marching band season. And I loved marching band. I just have to tell y'all, I still to this day love to hear a marching band. It's just something about it. It's in my blood now. So, anyways, when I became flag corps captain at the first year, my junior year, we didn't have a dance line. We did end up getting a dance line later on when our band director, he added that to our program. And, okay, so you have better eyesight. There's people saying things. So if you see a question or something. Anyways, get back to my story. So I was trying to learn dance moves. Now, like I said, y'all, I told you I was going to do my very best not to drop names. But if we say some names tonight of some of our high school friends, it's just because they're part of our memory. Like we're not going to say anything bad about anybody. But if you hear your name on here, it's because you were part of our life. Yeah. So I was learning dance moves from other like different people that we was in school with, and it was fun. I loved it. It was great. And so Leon, he was a dancer. He did more than dance. He used to flip as well. Like he could do backflips, all kind of stuff. Yeah. And so the junior year, there was a high school talent show. Yeah. And Leon was in it with his cousins, and both of them are your cousins, right? Mm-hmm, yeah. Okay. Yeah. So anyways, they ended up winning. They did a dance routine that year, and they ended up winning. And but at this point, me and Leon were friends. A little, yeah. Yeah, we were more talking to each other, and I thought it was cool that he could flip and that he could dance and all this kind of stuff like that. So
that's what caught her attention.
Okay, yeah, it might have been. Well, no, Leon's personality is what caught my attention, because Leon was.
I have changed. Yeah.
He was just like free spirited and super sweet and
exciting.
Like fun to be around, laugh and joke. He still will do that today, but he's just a little bit more serious than he was in high school. So but Leon had a great personality. Like I don't know if you didn't have any enemies in school, did you?
No, I didn't.
I didn't think so. I had some enemies, but I don't think Leon did. I don't even know why I had enemies.
Because we were nothing but clown. I mean, we just clowned a lot.
Yeah. So. But like you got along with everybody. Oh yeah. Like he's a people person back then. And so I mean he still's a people person now. Like we meet people and we like love fellowshipping with folks. That is one thing we have in common. Like we both love to fellowship with folks. Play games, laugh, joke, clown.
And if you seen Dre, that's pretty much was me when I was younger.
Yeah. So anyway,
Dre, I did mention your name, Dre.
Dre, y'all remember Dre's in Honduras, so but anyway, so we fast going to the next year. So that was our junior year. We became friends. And then in our senior year was we had study hall together. And by this time in my life, I mean, this is part of the reason we're getting on here, but I was dating a black guy in high school. And I say this, like, I know some of y'all may have heard that country song, like, I was country when country wasn't cool. Well, I was dating a black guy when dating black guys was not so cool. Like, it was...
At least from the part time we were there.
Yes. I mean, we're from Mississippi, and, it was just one of those things that you just didn't really do publicly. And I was in rebellion against my parents. My parents were, they were trying to think out for the best for me. And that's a whole nother blog story there. But, so he knew, you want to tell that part? Like,
about what?
When you said, like, when you found out that I would date a black guy.
Yeah. Yeah. So pretty much, I
dated white guys too.
Yeah. We was on the football field, and
I wasn't on the football field.
No, I'm saying about when I first kind of got. Anyway, where was I going with the story? But anyway,
while you're telling your story, I want to see what they're saying.
And so we was on the football field, and I remember she was with someone at the time. I was flipping. And
okay, go ahead.
When I saw her, I believe it was in the gym.
Yes, we had study hall in the gym.
And that's when I first saw her right there. And I said, oh, she dates a black guy. And so she was very, very, and she still is, so I'm not saying anything. She was very pretty. And she still is pretty, but I'm just saying she was very pretty. And what caught me was her, don't take the wrong way, her legs.
Oh my goodness. I didn't know you was gonna go there. Oh my goodness.
But that's what caught me right there. And so and then it went on from there right there that we was, a little hey there.
Flirting.
Yeah.
We started flirting.
Yeah.
And I was like off and on dating the guy. And did you have a girlfriend your senior year? Like I can't remember.
No,
like nothing serious.
No, nothing serious.
So anyways, we was like flirting in study hall, and like he when we got our senior out, you know how like when you're a senior, I don't know if they still do it, but like you have a memory book and you have everybody sign. I know they do yearbooks, memory books.
Right.
Well, I took mine to Leon and I was like, I want you to sign my memory book.
Yeah.
And, just as friends, I had tons of friends sign it. And so Leon, I still have it right to this day. It's in my keepsake locker. And he could not believe it when I pulled it out.
I couldn't believe it, yeah.
But he took a whole page in there and told me that I hope one day, I ought to get that. I should have got that out today and read it to y'all. But he was like, I hope someday that we could date or be together or something like that. And I was like, oh my goodness. So our senior year, we were like real good friends, hanging out, like flirting, whatever. But we never were an actual couple. Yeah. And even though we still to this day, we'll go to Meridian and people be like, y'all are still together. Y'all been together since high school. And I was like, well, actually, we didn't date in high school.
No.
We were just really good friends. And so like I said, we had study hall. So on graduation night, it was great.
Thank you, Keith.
What did he say? Oh,
working out the gym. And maybe just the camera.
Oh, mercy. But so our graduation night, our senior class was doing a party at this place in Lauderdale called, I think they called it the Red Barn or something like that. And so Leon, we're on the football field. We did our graduation outside on the football field. And our senior year, we had like some tragedies that happened. I won't go too much in it, but it was one of those, like we had a reminder of one of our students that we lost in a car wreck. We had another student who had an accident, a diving accident, and it made him paralyze him. And then but the year before, we also had one of our classmates that he had broke his neck playing football, but he didn't get to graduate with us because he missed a whole year due to that. So anyways, and and that was a mutual friend of ours. The one, right, his name, I'm going to say his name. His name was Alan Moore. He was a great friend to both of us. I had a class with him. Leon was just friends with him, and it was just really, he passed away, unfortunately, and but he's a super sweet guy. So, anyway, so it's one of those nights where we're so glad we're graduating, but then also we see like this family losing someone, this other family going through tragedies and stuff like that. But so anyway, so we're at the football field. I have to get past that so I don't get upset. And, I'm talking to my sister, one of my sisters, and, Leon just walks up to me. Yeah. And kisses me on the cheek. And I'm like, I'm staring at my sister and she's staring at me. And I was like,
and this was the night of the graduation.
Yes, night of graduation. Yeah. And so I didn't know how to respond. I was like, he's just a friend. I kept telling her, he's just a friend. It was actually the truth. I was such a liar back in those days. Yeah. It was terrible. I'm ashamed of it. And, I'm not that person anymore. But I was like, he's just a friend. Yeah. But I'm telling y'all.
We said we're cheering on.
Yes. When I left the football field, I was booking it up to the cafeteria. We had to turn our caps and gowns in. And I was like, I gotta go find Leon. Leon was nowhere to be found. And I was thinking, I hope he comes to the graduation party. And so I had permission that night to go. And my parents kind of like extended my curfew. And I was thinking, I just hope I see him there because I missed, because he disappeared. Did you want to tell your story of why you disappeared?
Well, that night I didn't.
Then don't drop names.
Well, I didn't think. I wasn't thinking as far as that. At the time, I was just cheering on right there and just letting her know that maybe later on in the future. This is my mind was thinking. But during that time right there, I was running from somebody else. And it was a girl, and
I hope so.
Well, yes. Anyway, so I'm running. Then I get into a car with some of my friends right here, and we go, and we just went to it was a restaurant. I forgot the name of that restaurant. I don't know if it was Waffle House or some other restaurant that we met up at right then. So anyway, it was kind of short for us right there because it wasn't like how we thought it was going to be like. And so I went back home, and that was it.
Well, speaking of going back home, so I end up going to the party, the graduation party, and I stayed there for a little bit, but I never saw Leon, and I was like, it just wasn't, I just was like, I'm just going to go home. Like, it was just one of those moments of, I don't know, it just didn't want to be there, I guess you could say, in a sense. It was like, I was happy to see all my friends and stuff, but I just went on home. And then when I got home, my parents were still awake, and my dad was so shocked. He was like, "You're already home?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, I went and said hey to everybody and came on home. And they were shocked. I was like, I don't know what they were thinking, to be honest with you, but I went home too. And so that was the last time that I saw Leon, was graduation night until it was the beginning of 1993.
Yeah.
And so
this is where up to that point right there, that me and my twin brother, we was after high school, we tried to get into this little gig of singing, and we had an aunt from Birmingham, Alabama right there that was going to try to help us out in that. And so me and my brother, we moved to Birmingham for a season.
That's why I never saw him.
And I did little dances and shows and stuff like that. And then that's where she wanted to fill in the blank right here, that one night when I pulled up at
they came back. Yeah. And so he
when I moved back to
he moved back. And so I was working at a grocery store named Food Max. I was working in the seafood department, and I was closing one night, and I looked up, and he has a twin brother, and his twin brother was walking through with his girlfriend, and I was like, "Hey," like waved or whatever. And I can tell them apart. Now, there's people that, I don't know, they act like they can't or whatever. I don't know. But I can tell them apart just from their voice sometimes. Now, they can sometimes fool me if Leon is sick, like with a deeper voice, he'll sound more like his brother, or if he's just waking up. But I can tell them apart. And anyway, so I knew it was Leon, and then it was just a few minutes later, Leon comes walking through. And he doesn't say anything to me. I mean, he didn't even like acknowledge I was standing there. And I was like,
but I had reason.
I said, what was your reason?
My reason was that when I looked over there, and she was busy with customers. She was doing seafood.
Yeah.
And so I didn't want to bother her right there. And even though I looked at her, I thought she was going to look up at me. But when I saw her, she was still talking with the customer right there. So that's the very reason why I didn't.
Well, anyway, so I'm just like, I know he didn't. And I was like, what in the world? I haven't seen him in like over a year. So I finish up with what I was doing, and I go to the front of the store, and they're about to check out. And I'm like, Leon. And by this time, him and Dion is standing next to each other.
Now, this is where I had my kid and play hairstyle.
Yeah.
I had a high top with a dye in the front.
A yellow fade
with three lines right there.
Yeah.
I was
and he was like,
very cool.
About what, 140 pounds?
140 pounds. Yeah. And I had this yellow jacket on. So.
Yeah. It was orange, I thought. Anyway.
Okay. Orange, yellow.
Yeah. And so I'm like, Leon. And he turned around. He's like, Debbie. And we hugged each other and was like, oh, it's so good to see you. It's so good to see you. And he was like, what are you doing? And I was like, well, I'm working right now. And he asked me that night, he was like, well, what you doing when you get off? And okay, so I'm working in a seafood department. So when you leave after working in a seafood department, you don't smell the greatest, because you smell like all this fish and shrimp and stuff you've been dealing with all day. And I was like, well, I was going to go home. And he was like, you should come by and see us. And I was thinking, I would love to come by and see you, but I may have mentioned that to him or whatever. And so anyways, I don't think I came that night. I did not.
No.
Because you came back another night, and then that was the night. And so we just started talking and hanging out.
Yeah, you let me know when the day
because this is pre-cell phones, pre-beepers.
Yeah.
This is back when you had to actually pick up a phone that was hanging on the wall.
Right.
And so he came down to the store one night, and we were just talking or whatever. And he was like, can you come by the house? And so I did. He was living with his brother in town. And his girlfriend. Yeah. And so I went over there one night, and then from that night on, like, we were, always hanging out with each other, going places together. And so then Leon's like, do you still dance? Because, he was big into dance. He was doing backup dancing for people.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, not like routine wise or nothing like that. And he's like, we should do something together. And so he's like, look, I'm going to do a routine for us. So Leon is like teaching me a dance routine.
Only because I saw that she had potential in dancing for a white girl. So that was very rare.
We're bringing color into this.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, but that was very, right, yeah. That was very rare.
Look, it's like, I don't know, it's a terrible movie. I'm not recommending anybody to watch it, but there was a movie called, what was it?
I have no idea.
Save the Last Dance or something like that, or The Last Dance or Save the Dance. It was something like that.
Yeah.
Anyways, it was very close to our story in, as far as like the white girl learning how to dance from the black guy and they end up being together. But I already was dancing. It's just that Leon like made us a routine. So we actually went to a club one night. I'm not recommending anybody go to a no club, y'all. Senior Frog. Yeah. It was in Laurel, Hattiesburg area.
Yeah.
And this is mainly a white club, like mostly whites. There was a few blacks in there.
Right.
I hate to even use color, y'all, but we're just trying to be real.
Yeah.
And so,
but they played this music on when we came in there.
So he was like, "Hey, Dave, let's do our routine here." And I was like, "Are you serious?"
That's only when that music came on there.
Yeah. And he was like, "This is a song we've been practicing to." And I was like, "Okay." We didn't know anybody, so I felt like if I messed up or we looked crazy, then nobody really know us over there anyway. So we go out
on the dance floor. Everybody step back to move out the way.
First, everybody was dancing, but then we started doing it, and then everybody got off the floor. And I was like, oh my goodness.
And they saw these two couples right here doing a dance move, and everybody was caught up and blown away. They're like, wow.
And so I was like, okay, so we did our little routine or whatever. Then everybody was like, oh, that was good. And then everybody got back on the dance floor. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So it was a good feeling, but I was like, I can't believe we just did that kind of feeling. So that was like one of our old time memories that we hold on to, like we talk about still, like, cause we were crazy.
Yeah.
Who does that? We did. So, anyways, we get up to, it's close to Valentine's. I met his family in January of that year. He took me up there to meet them, and I think they was a little bit shocked when I got there. And but I love his family very much. They have always, but we bumped heads. I mean, with some of them I have, some of them I've never had nothing with, and but I do. I love his family dearly, and they've been good to me. So, anyways, in February, it was almost Valentine's, it was like the week of Valentine's. And y'all, I have always been very frugal with my money. And so I'm thinking, okay, we're doing good. There was like, I had an ex-boyfriend and he had like, I don't know, 2 or 3 girls chasing him. And I'm just like, I was like, okay, it's either going to be me and you or what? Because I'm fixing to think, I'm like, I'm going to go spend some money on him for Valentine's. And I'm like, I don't want to waste my money if he's going to dump me for one of these other girls. And so I was like, I went to him the day before and I was like, okay, Leon, I was like, and I gave him that little question. I was like, is it just going to be just me and you? Like, is this going to be us or whatever? And he was like, yeah, I want it to just be me and you. And I was like, it was
going somewhere, right? We was driving somewhere?
I don't remember that part.
I thought we was going somewhere.
But, anyway, so we made it official. It was just me and him on February the 13th, the day before Valentine's. Yeah. So that's how we always remember when we made it official, exclusive, only, this is it. Now we had some major issues with our relationship because we started it on the wrong foundation. We did it on feelings, and I had wrote something down today that I was like, I really need to bring this point home. So I'm going to put I broke my glasses last night. I was listening to the Ole Miss game, and I went to take my glasses off to tell you something and snapped them till I got my old trusties back on. So anyways, I was thinking about all that, about when we connected and everything. And just in that time, thinking that everything was just so life or death. This is the most important thing. And now it is a very important thing. Besides giving your life to Jesus, who you marry, I would say, is the next most important thing in your life. And we weren't married, and we were definitely living in sin.
But that's
And-
funny that when you're just girlfriend boyfriend deal, and you treat it like as if you're married.
Yeah, because
but in reality, we wasn't married. So
yeah, because like
so-
if when Leon would talk to somebody else, it's like I was very jealous.
Yeah.
Very jealous. And
Yeah.
Leon, I would say Leon was
and
jealous.
I got the scars. No, never mind.
Anyway.
That's another story, Kevin.
No, Kevin told us to tell the Frosted Flake story. That will come when we talk about having our babies. That's
Right.
a whole nother vlog. But anyways, I was just, thinking back then that I felt like this is just, and in my conscience, that was God trying to tell me, I believe, now that, I'm older and mature, like this is important. Like, and we made these decisions without asking God, like, is this going to work out between us? Is this going to be good? Is this good for us? Or, all the questions, that we needed to ask. And, I put on here, I said, it's the sacrifices that people would do for love. We were heathens, straight up heathens. And
Heathens.
You
said heathen.
And I watched this man do things for me back then that I'm like, I almost want to, I know he would because he has done it, but it's like, you're like, would you still do that for me? Like I was working like I said, I was working at Food Max, and I don't know if you didn't have a car, your car was broke down or whatever, but this man walked from his apartment to the store, and wasn't it snowing?
Yeah.
It was snowing,
cold, yeah.
And that was like miles. It had to be at least, I don't know, I almost want to say 10 miles.
Right.
Or so. Or at least 5 for sure. But it was in town, so you know how that is. But I'm just like, when he popped up and I was like, how'd you get here? He was like, I walked. And I was like, in the snow? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, I mean, he would do little things like that for me. And I'm just like, he's got to love me. So I'm like, in my head, I'm like, he does love me. It's not just about, one thing. He does love me. And so, it's just those little type things. And then, I mean, it wasn't a good choice, but I ended up this is one of those moments. I left my family to be with him. And like I said, there was decisions we made that was not right, not done the right way.
Right.
That's what I need to say. It was not done the right way. And so, like, I don't know if that made an impact on him as far as like.
Yeah. And I did do that, but at the same time, I was still nervous, because of being an interracial couple.
Yes.
It did kind of, made me to be very careful and cautious at things where we went.
Right.
And stuff like that. So it did affect me a little bit.
And we are actually, I have that wrote down that is going to be our next vlog. We are going to talk about the troubles that we faced, the trials of being a mixed couple in the interracial. Yeah. Yeah, interracial. Well, no, there's one race.
Yeah.
So, we're talking about in the 1990s. We're not talking about, the 2000 and 2025s where it seems to be a lot more common now, or, which is fine. There's nothing sinful of that at all now, but there are sins of other things. But anyways, let me stay on track here. But I wrote down that, in 1 Corinthians, Paul talks about, he warns people of doing things that they're not sinful, but they can bring trouble to your life. And marriage is not sinful. It's not a sin to be married. Now the way we was going about it was sinful, but and Paul is talking about that in 1 Corinthians 7. He is talking about, someone being married, but it not being sin and being trouble. But I just want to, if there's anybody that's watching and you're going through something, you're questioning, like, is this the right person? And if you don't build that foundation starting with Christ, and I'm not saying that you can start it with Christ and troubles won't come, but that foundation makes it so much easier, because a lot of the scars and a lot of the heartaches that we have are because we did not build our foundation, our relationship on the foundation of Jesus. Now, he had to knock everything down and start it back over for us, which we've made it through. But You know, we tell these stories, and some of y'all that know us will be like, oh, yeah, I remember that. Or,
Yeah.
you know, I remember them telling us that story or whatever. But, you know, it is our memory. And so Leon is going to close out tonight. He's going to read out of Ecclesiastes, where King Solomon talks about the vanities of life. So if you want to.
Yeah. And even through all that right there, we had 3 beautiful children during those times, what we call fun times, ups and downs. And I believe every relationship has that. Mm-hmm. But anyway, in Ecclesiastes, I'm going to close out in chapter 11, verses 8 through 10. And it says, but if a man live many years and rejoice in them all, yet let him remember the days of darkness, for they shall be many. All that cometh is vanity. Rejoice, O young man, this is verse 9. Rejoice, O young man, in thy youth, and let thy heart cheer thee in the days of thy youth, and walk in the ways of thine heart, and in the sight of thine eyes. But know thou that for all these things God will bring thee into judgment. Verse 10. Therefore remove sorrow from thy heart, and put away evil from thy flesh, for childhood and youth are vanity. Amen.
So we're going to end with that tonight. And like I said, our next blog, as of right now, I have the topic to be the things we faced being in a mixed relationship and some of the stuff that we went through.
And feel free to comment, ask questions.
Ask questions.
We're still learning a lot of things.
Yes. So like I said, this was our first time to do it live. And I'm going to see, when I stop it, I'm going to try to get it uploaded to YouTube. So. All right, we love y'all, and stay safe during this weather tonight. And I'm sorry, but it was 30 minutes. I said I was going to try to keep it at 20, but right. Yeah. Well, anyway. All right, we love y'all.
Love y'all. Bye-bye.
Figure out how to turn this off now.